I think there are two other aspects that are
I was going to say, if
interesting.
that's one, you must have some others. So let's hear them.
Let's go with the one I wrote about today first.
Okay.
Um, I think I look. I don't. With this. If you listen to this podcast, you know how Steve and I feel about the noon slot. Like we don't mind the slot. Steve loves the slot because he's back at his house by like 3:30. He's drinking beer, walking
Great.
Guinness. He's taking a shower. Like he's happy. I don't love the noon slot because I come from Altoona and it's a little bit harder and it's the travel logistics. And yes, I think the game should be played at night because it's a lot more fun. But it's not the end of the world because Penn State is primely focused or primely showcased in the college football world when they play these big noon games. Ideally, that's the whole point of the Fox contract. However, 99.999, maybe 100% of you listening do not like big noon. You don't like it because of all of the reasons that I listed out today. And now is your actual chance to do something about it. Like, and this is not me lobbying and saying that you should do it. And that's because we don't, to be blunt, I don't want to lose
Because
guests.
someday we might get a Fox guest.
Yeah, we would like to get Fox guests down the line. I'm just saying, how many times do you get to do something as a fan? Like NIL is the first thing that we've really got to do besides going to games as a fan. This is something that you get to do is go to game day instead of big noon. And I think Penn State fans, for as much bitching and moaning as they've done about big noon, like they need to take this shot. Like they need to take the shot and kind of not show up because I think that performs the referendum of, yes, we'll take your TV money that you're giving us, Fox, but you're not really welcome here. We don't enjoy you coming here.
I will point to, I agree 100%.
Thank you.
But I will point to 2000 or 2003 Michigan State here in November, last home game. They go to Indiana and they win like late on the team that sucks. Might have been 2003. Awful year. They go to Indiana and win. The team by all rights. Nobody should be coming to a home game. The last game of the year, crappy weather, Michigan State, and people still turn out. Like Penn State fans turn out. And Big Noon's going to be on the right side of the Jordan Center. There'll be people there, not as many as I, maybe not as many as I'm envisioning, because maybe people can resist it. But yeah, I agree. Like forget about the noon slot and the money. Like they're disconnected to me. Noon slot, money, take the money, you tell them to play when they want to play it, and I understand that. But yeah, it can be kind of like, hey, we don't like your noon slot, we're not going to show up for your show. But the show itself is the weaker of the two, and they know that. And anybody in college football knows that, and anybody at Penn State knows that. In terms of the athletic department, they can't say it out loud, but they know that. And they're going to be bribing student clubs, which I know for a fact, to show up. They're going to be, they offered the free 500 free cowboy hats, the first 500 people who showed up last time they were here.
Great.
They're going to be dishing out whatever they can to try to get some kind of crowd. And it would be poetic justice if nobody was there, because it's just not a good show, And if you're going to walk 50 more yards to go see Pat McAfee and Herbie and Ben the dog and whatever else, like, it's worth the steps.
Yeah. And I think that's what this boils down to. And I think the other thing here, and I tried to convey this with what I wrote, is like college game day has become borderline Americana. Like it is a quintessential fabric to the fall of football, and or not the fall of football in the fall. And I think people appreciate that. And I think that's why even 20, 30 years from now, when Herbie's Corso's age, and I think people are still always going to want to be picked for the game day game. Always want to show up for the game day game. Always want to make a sign for game day. I think the funny thing that I was thinking about was those hats, though. Those hats I saw after the UCLA game, and I just I was like, this is such a sad attempt at, quite literally, again, stealing something that College Game Day has, which is the Home Depot hard hats. Those hats are like a status symbol because that shows that you went to game day early, you stood there at 3 a.m., and you got this hat, and now like you have one, and it's just a cool thing to have that I think is a good way
I
to
should have put
explain
mine
it.
on with the outfit. I wasn't thinking.
I have one. I have one in Altoona that I need to bring up here. I think it's in Altoona.
I just the cowboy hats is like, why a cowboy hat? Like, why would you ever at Penn State have a cowboy hat, right?
Yeah.
And I've heard anecdotally from about a half dozen kids stories about they're looking to pay our club to show up, or they were looking to like give us food to show up, or whatever else, right? Like,
Steve, you just dropped a bomb there. That's.
I mean, maybe not flat out paying, but like they were encouraging
bribe.
clubs to come and like giving right. Oh yes,
bribe. Okay.
Yes, no, they need it. And we talked about this at UCLA after the UCLA game. Like, they can have a crowd. They can have a crowd if they know what to do with it, right? The crowd at Penn State wasn't as energetic as it could have been, but they got some energy behind giving Urban Meyer some heat, and you could hear them shut that down. Like the show wasn't playing into that because Urban didn't want to be that bad guy there, or they didn't want him to be. Let him be the bad guy here. This is the place. This place in Ann Arbor are the two places he should be the bad guy, right? Like, it's okay. I am concerned about this for game day, and maybe you can tell me I'm wrong. I'm concerned about Penn State students and any kind of cheering ability with Pat McAfee, right? Because we got one cheer, we are, right?
Right.
Like, and he always in the past couple games, right, has been finding something. Like, I don't know what he's going to lead him in besides we are, right?
Here's what I think. I think McAfee's going to go total heel here. I think McAfee, because he's going to like play into the "you beat my football team" bit. And I think that's what I think he's picked the home team every game so far this year. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure he has. I think that's what's going to happen.
He's been the home team show everywhere else, so that would be interesting if he went off character.
I think he's a wrestling
Look, if the dude's going to try to give somebody $100,000, they're going to cheer for him no matter what, so it'd be fine.
That's true.